Here's the real question. How do dentists like you, who aren't willing to let insurance dictate how you will run your practice, who want to create incredibly profitable practices without sacrificing your time or sanity, how do you create the strategies to ensure your practice not only survives, but thrives in the 21st century? That's the blaring question, and Dr. Steve Schlintz is here to provide the answers. Welcome to Dental Practice Freedom Radio.
What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Steve Schlintz, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Dental Practice Freedom Radio. And what I'm going to do in this episode is talk about the shift from product-oriented service to service-oriented service. That didn't make much sense, did it? This is something I've alluded to on a past episode, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on this because I think that the shift from a product-oriented service to more service and experience-oriented service is one that all clinicians need to make if they want to start to do more complete care and create freedom in their practice. Now, there's different ways to create freedom in your practice, and you know, my MO, and I can only based on my experience of what I've done. The number one way for me to create freedom in my practice was not to bring on more associates, was not to have more assistants and hygienists and team members and do it that way. Mine was to be as productive as humanly possible in my practice at the times that I'm there, and then create more freedom by going from 4 days or 5 days of work to 4 days to work to 3 days to work and still keeping the level of profit there. That was my path to freedom. I've tried it the other way. I've tried associates. I've tried increasing team members. I've done all of those things. And I found that for me, and what I found most dentists naturally are inclined to do is get better at the things that they're already doing. I don't know about you, but as a dentist, it is hard for me to delegate, right? I know that that's a path to freedom, and you still need to delegate, but most dentists are not entrepreneurial by nature, and that's nothing good or bad about that. We are micromanagers. We like to be task-oriented. That's one of the essential skills of being a successful dentist. So I'm more entrepreneurial than most. I get that. But I know a lot of dentists that listen to this, they're like, I just want to have a great office. I don't want a podcast. I don't want to create my own program. I just want to have an incredibly profitable business that I love going to and serving my patients. The flip side of that is if they say, well, the path to freedom is to have associates and to have this. Listen, I've been on that route. And there's a lot of management headaches. So you take off your technician hat and put more on your manager hat. That is a problem for most dentists, right? That just leads to more and more and more problems. If you've ever read The E-Myth, which is a great book by Michael Gerber, talks about the 3 hats that we have to put on. And it's a technician hat, a leader hat, and a management hat. The management hat is maybe even more difficult for dentists than any other hat. Right. The leadership hat sometimes is very difficult. The technician hat we naturally put on and we're good at. It's that management and leadership. Well, when you move from a smaller office that's technically based to a larger office that's more team and management based, you're going to have to put on that hat more. So it really depends on what path of freedom you want. And, you know, you might be asking, well, what does this have to do with moving from a product-oriented environment to a service-oriented environment? I fundamentally believe that when your practices get bigger, you have more associates, you have more team members, the practice itself is naturally going to shift more towards product-oriented service. And you might be saying, no, I have great service. I don't doubt that you don't, right? I view service different than maybe some other people do. I don't view service as like, do you get warm towels at your appointments? That's great. Like, if I went in and I had a choice between a dental office that offered me a warm towel and not, I'm going to choose the warm towel. But the nature of the relationship, the reason that I'm at a dentist is not to get a warm towel. If I want a warm towel, I'm going to go to my house, right? I'll hire a masseuse for an hour, and they'll give me a massage, a warm towel, and I'll be like, wow, this is relaxing. You know, I've always laughed sometimes. It's really important for a dental office to feel as comfortable and relaxing as possible. The reality is it's still a dental office, right? And I don't know about you, but I have met very, very, very few patients that actually want to be there. And to be honest, me as a patient, I don't want to be in a dental office either. So I tell people that. That's my common ground speech. Like, listen, I know you don't want to be here. I never want to go to a dentist either. So what I'm going to try to do is create a relationship based on preventing disease rather than simply treating it. Because if we just continue to treat disease, guess what happens? You continually be here. I want to get you so healthy, patient, that you don't ever have to see me again unless you want to, right? We can do cancer screenings, we can do some prophies, whatever, but you're never going to have to, be reliant on me to tell you, well, now you have 3 cavities and we're going to go ahead and fix those. Like, that's my goal, is to get you so healthy that you never hear that come out of my mouth, right? That's a relationship that's based on mutual trust, common ground, and working towards a common goal. So when I start to think about how do you move from a product-oriented service to a service or an experience-oriented service, the experience first has to be clearly defined. And I just told you what my experience is. I want patients to be so healthy when they come through my practice that they never have to worry about getting disease again. Now, that is going to take work on their part. I can't do that for them. I can't give them health. Only the patient can give themselves health. But I can act as a coach and facilitate that. So everything in my practice is geared towards creating that experience for them. The way my hygienists talk to them, the way that I talk to them, the way that I create a plan for them, the way that I partner with them on the path to health may be different than a product-oriented office. A product-oriented office, in my opinion, is like the ones that advertise, we do same-day crowns, we do this, we do that, we do lasers, we do cone beams, we do this. All fantastic technologies, and it's all based on convenience, and patients also want convenience. But you know what's more convenient than a same-day crown? Not needing a crown. See? What is more convenient than a same-day crown? Never needing a crown. Never needing to sit for 3 hours and get a crown. That's more convenient. So when I'm selling my services, my products, my product is elimination of disease, right? That's a service. That's an experience. The experience I want to have these patients to have is not just that it was a great experience, it was relaxing, it was so comfortable and all this stuff. It is that when I go to his office, I feel like I'm getting so much value and learning so much that I can take care of myself, that I know this is going to help me 20, 30, 40 years from now. I have a lot of patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I tell them, like, listen, if we don't partner now, when you're in your mid-80s, 90s, the time that you should be chewing your food, the time that you should be living life to the fullest, you're not going to be able to chew your food because you're relying on me to give you health, and I can't do that. My job is to help you get on a path to health, but it's the daily habits you take. It's no different than us, right? Like, as dentists, the really successful dentists, what do they do every day? They have a habit. They have a study routine. They're always into something. They're always learning, and they're always taking it to their practice. That's a daily habit. Your patients need daily habits as well. So when you look at your practice, start to ask yourself, where do I want to go? Do I want to be more experience-oriented or product-oriented? And how am I currently marketing? Am I the one that is marketing, hey, we do same-day crowns? There's not a problem with that. I'm not saying that there is. Again, convenience is important. But if you want the patients, in my opinion, that are looking for something more, it has to be more than same-day crowns. You have to market your experience and what you hope to accomplish with them. I'm going to actually read from my website. So bear with me here for just a second. I'm going to look up my website and actually read to you some of the stuff that is on my website. And tell me what you think kind of patients would call, search out our website, and when they hear this, they would call our office and say, I want that. Okay? So this is how I market my practice, right? So our approach creates a partnership. This is on the homepage of my website. Mountain Sky Dental's approach is designed to achieve the health goals that most set but never accomplish. Think about how refreshing it would be to know that you would never get dental disease again. If you think that's crazy, read our website further. If you're ready to change your oral health in your life, we encourage you to see how our approach can work for anyone. Watch our welcome video for more information. Do you hear anything about like same-day crowns and lasers and cutting edge technology? No, we're trying to create a partnership here. Here's another thing, health and disease, right? Now this is inspired by Dr. TJ Bolt in Omaha, Nebraska, and you guys can go to his website as well and look at another approach to holistic care, right? fantastic, one of the best that I have ever seen. I'm going to get him on for an interview on this podcast about how to truly partner with your patient. He's an absolute master at this. And I took a lot of this idea from him, and it's health and disease. We believe that each patient should have the opportunity to create optimal oral health. When a patient has a cavity filled or a crown placed, it doesn't make the patient healthier. It just means they temporarily stop the disease. However, if the cause of the disease is not addressed, this process will continue. And when a patient enters our practice, we spend time educating them about the causes of dental disease, not just treating the symptoms of dental disease. Treating dental disease without knowing the cause of dental disease is a dreadful situation in which the patient goes through a cycle of constantly needing more and more dental work. Eventually, the patient will lose simply because there will be no more tooth structure left to fix, or no tooth structure left to treat. Tooth loss occurs, or a small fortune is spent to repair the damage that has been done. By spending time educating patients about the causes of dental disease and how to eliminate those causes, we can focus on getting patients healthier. And when patients can go through their lives with the least amount of dentistry done in their lifetime, patients have a choice. If you're ready to stop the disease cycle, we are the office for you. Think about that. I want you to really be thinking about that. How are you marketing your practice? Right now, I know that this approach is not for everybody, but I know a lot of people that are listening to this episode and this podcast go, I really want to move in that direction. This is where continually coaching gets, very, very important. If you're looking for ways to do this and you just can't find the answers, the reality is you need the right coaches and mentors. You need to have people that have been there, they've done that, they've lived in this world. It is a different environment. It's a different world. But I'm telling you, once you find those mentors, people that are actually doing this in their practice, your profitability will skyrocket, especially if you do it the right way. If you have a PPO office, if you have let's say a product-oriented office, but you want to become more experience-oriented, you have to start just a little bit at a time, 1 or 2 simple habits in your office that you can change. Maybe one new patient experience that's geared more towards this approach than your traditional. You see the hygienist first, we tell you what's wrong, and we hope that you do treatment. You just start small and build it. I always say you want to be thinking you're in a giant red ocean right now. And if you're in a giant red ocean, you're competing with all the other dentists for market share and how you're going to get your patients, and you're marketing this, you're marketing that. Start to think about, how do I create one little blue dot in the middle of this red ocean? The one thing that I do, how do I engage my patients at a different level? And then every day, how do I expand that blue dot just a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further? And pretty soon what you're going to find is you've built an entire practice within a practice. So hopefully you got some value out of this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, leave a review or rating if you're getting value out of this podcast on iTunes. And I will see you at the next episode.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode on Dental Practice Freedom Radio with Dr. Steve Schlitz. We'll see you on the next episode.